weight class. I mean, obviously, it's a big draw too.
Yes. Middleweight, welterweight.
Absolutely. But I had you listed that you fought at light heavyweight.
Yes, I fought at light heavyweight because, a few fights I fought super middle, which is 168, but anything over 168 would be considered light heavyweight.
Right.
But I never fought at the light heavyweight limit, which is 175. Most of my fights are at 170, 171, which I tell my manager, I said, hey, if we're not fighting for a world title, then give me that, that little cushion to fight at 170. Where, I noticed, coming up watching Andre Ward and guys like that, before he fought for the title, he would fight at a catchweight, which would be like 107 pounds, just to give yourself a little extra, where you don't have to, kill yourself really to make that weight.
And so, I mean, is there an advantage? Is that the only advantage you see fighting at light heavyweight? Is that something that you want to maybe get a championship in?
Actually, I want to fight super middleweight. So when my record is built, into contention, then I will make that 168 pound limit that I'm supposed to make. So my last 3 fights, I fought at my last 2 was 170 pounds. With the 2 pounds over the super middleweight limit, which classified me as a light heavyweight. But I think, my advantage is, being, 6'1", having long arms, so I want to fight in a super middleweight division opposed to the light heavy, where guys, maybe diet from 200 pounds down to 175, where here it is, I'm a guy 190 pounds, 188 pounds, and I diet down to 168.
Is that hard for you to do in like a 4-week period? Isn't that?
It was difficult. It was difficult in the beginning, but now I kind of mastered it, so it's not so bad. It takes a lot of discipline. But like I said before, people who always diet is okay, but you have to have some of the things that you like. You can't take everything else away. It'll crash. So. I kind of basically mastered it, but a lot of people call me crazy because they'll just say, hey, I'll move up to 175, which is a lot more comfortable for my weight, but I think it gives me the advantage of being a bigger, stronger guy.
Do you think you slow down at light heavyweight compared to super middleweight?
I don't think I would actually slow down. I just think that, the guy's been a lot bigger, the punches that they're throwing, so I think that just 168 will be a better fit.
And then I want to ask you about, I remember I told you how blessed you are to have this opportunity. I mean, we're talking, it's completely and up to you, not just your skill as being a professional boxer, but your attitude, how you carry yourself, and how you plan for the future.
Yes.
Those things that you consciously think about?
Yes, definitely. Because, I gave my all. Once I, was sitting back home and I was watching TV and I seen, I used to watch my father when I was younger, but I wasn't really into it. Like, I just like, oh, Tyson's fighting, don't leave the room, a knockout might happen. But about 6 years ago, I was with some buddies and I was sitting at the house and I was watching TV and I was like, these guys are fighting. I was like, I think I can do it, and I was 21 and a half years old, which is relatively old, that's late for a guy to, just jump in the ring and say he wants to fight. And we said, oh, you want to fight? Okay, let's go. So I checked into a gym. And right away they said, wow, you're strong and you're durable. My skills definitely wasn't up to par, but they seen something in me, so I stuck with it. So basically just to say for myself, 5.5, 6 years ago, not even knowing anything about boxing, for me, for a guy like Freddie Roach to tip his hat and say, man, you got something. That right there just says a lot, in itself. And one guy, his name is Shadi. He's training. Ishmael, which I don't know his last name, but they call him the Black Russian. And he told me, he said, Freddie really speaks highly of you. He said, you're tough. And I didn't want to, I said, man, to myself, I'm like, he didn't say I was a good fighter. He said I was tough, because he puts me in there with all of his guys. I sparred with Peter Quillen, Kid Chocolate, 25-0 with 19 knockouts. And I go in there and I hold my own. I spar with Latif. You know, so he's just saying, like, if I can get my skills to match up with, you know, my determination and my will and my heart, then I'll be a good fighter. And I'm working very, very hard to get my skills at the level I want them to be.
I know you think it's so pretty and everything. You know, you got to protect the face. That last fight you had, where he opened up your top of your eyebrow.
Yes.
I mean, is that scar tissue going to be a problem for any other fight you face? I mean, because you know everybody knows it's there.
Yes.
And it's weak, and it'll be easy to open.
Yes. I can answer that question. I fought Friday Night Fights, you know, I had two cuts. I had a cut over, you know, my eyelid, and I had another cut that was over my eye. It was a really bad cut, but I had a good doctor who, you know, was a plastic surgeon, and he stitched it up. And at the same time, I fought two more fights after that, and I didn't get cut, and everything went well. So, and I won both of those fights, unanimous decision. So, I don't think that there was an actual issue. I was told that, you know, a few friends said, hey man, maybe you need to, you know, wash your face in salt water. It'll toughen your skin up where you won't get cut. But I'm not worried about that. My mom is. She's just like, oh my God, you messed your face up. You're so handsome. I'm like, Mom, this is what I do. So, you know, I just let it happen.
The only way to change me is maybe run my brains out, stuck in the middle of the game to get the pain out. Pray to my God every day, but he don't listen. The poverty
Anybody who, you know, is gonna tune into a Tyrell Hendrix fight, you definitely gonna see a good fight, and you're gonna get your money's worth. You'll see me on pay-per-view or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
kick it.
Alright, last time I did this, it got me in a little trouble. I mean, it got me 10,000 views on YouTube, but at the same time, they said this guy can't knock out Lucian Bute. Yeah, that's what they said. It's like this guy, he has a loss. He'll be a door boy by next year. I mean, hey, you know what? Being a boxer, you gotta have thick skin inside of the ring and outside of the ring. For the simple fact that the critics, you hear so many people saying so many negative things about you. You got to be able to block that stuff off, and you know who you are and what you got to do. So I can't really give you who I'm gonna fight right now. You know, I can't give you because I don't want to get tore down. But
right.
But I got some guys in my mind who I want to, you know, who's on the list.
And this is the last question. You and I got a deal. After your next couple of fights, we're going to get together again and do another interview and see where you're going and who you're going to be fighting.
Definitely, we will. I'm happy to do that. 2012, okay. Tyrell Hendrix, definitely we're going to be on the rise.
Okay, yes. Right on.
Cool.
Thank you.